Welcome to World Rare Coins, the ultimate place where small change turns into big treasure. If you love rare and valuable US coins, you're in the right spot. Let's uncover the hidden gems hiding in your pocket change. Top 1 today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American currency that's often overlooked by casual eyes, but holds a surprising and potentially life-changing value for those lucky enough to recognize it. That's right. In today's video, we're shining the spotlight on the United States 5-cent coin from the year 1975, a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. It has been making waves in the numismatic world for reasons that are nothing short of incredible. So, whether you're a seasoned collector, just starting your coin hunting journey, or someone who stumbled across a handful of old coins and wondered if any of them could be worth more than pocket change, this video is for you. Sit tight, pay close attention, and enjoy every moment of this journey through American coin history. Let's begin. The 1975 Jefferson nickel, more commonly referred to as the 1975 5-cent coin, was part of the long-running Jefferson series, which started in 1938 and continues to this day in various forms. Designed by Felix Schlag, this series features the iconic profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse side, and his beloved estate, Monticello, on the reverse. Now, by 1975, millions upon millions of these nickels were minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. In fact, the U.S. Mint produced over 450 million of them that year alone, making it seem like a completely ordinary coin, right? But here's where things get really interesting. Among those hundreds of millions of coins, a tiny fraction, just a sliver of a percentage, came out with unexpected errors, anomalies, and rare production quirks that have turned them from mere 5-cent pieces into items of high value and hot pursuit in the coin collecting world. You see, in the world of numismatics, errors are golden. Whether it's a misaligned die, double strike, off-center design, or a wrong planchet used during minting, each of these rare mistakes opens the door to potential riches. Let's explore a few of the notable errors found on the 1975 Jefferson nickel that have made collectors go absolutely wild. First up, we have the double die obverse, where Jefferson's portrait or the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear slightly doubled due to a shift in the die. This can be incredibly subtle, but under magnification, the doubling is clear and very valuable. These coins have been documented and are in high demand. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank, or planchet, isn't properly aligned when struck by the dies. The result is a coin with part of its design missing or shifted noticeably to one side. The more off-center the strike, especially around 40% to 60%, the more valuable the coin becomes. And when the date is still fully visible despite the off-center error, collectors go crazy for it. One of the most fascinating rare anomalies associated with the 1975 nickel is the wrong planchet error. This occurs when the coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination, like a penny or even a foreign coin. Imagine having a nickel-sized coin that weighs less or looks different. It instantly becomes a conversation piece and a high-ticket item at auctions. And we're not done yet. There have also been reports of clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the coin is visibly missing in a clean arc shape, almost like a bite was taken out of it. These clips happen during the blanking process and are easily spotted. Combine that with a 1975 mint date and sharp details, and you've got yourself a collector's dream. Now, let's talk condition, because as every serious coin collector knows, the grade of a coin can make or break its value. A 1975 Jefferson nickel in average circulated condition might only fetch face value. But the story changes drastically when you come across one in mint state, especially graded MS 65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC. At that level, the surfaces are unblemished, the luster is sharp, and every detail from Jefferson's hairline to the steps of Monticello is perfectly preserved. Some of these coins, particularly those with full steps designation on the Monticello building, where each of the steps is sharply struck and fully visible, are among the most desirable. Combine that with one of the aforementioned errors, and you've got a coin that's not just rare, but exceptionally unique. This is why so many collectors are combing through rolls of nickels from banks, estate sales, and personal collections, hoping to spot that one special 1975 nickel that stands out from the rest. For most, it's a hobby. For a lucky few, it's a jackpot. Collectors around the world cherish these rare finds not just for their monetary value, but for the thrill of the hunt, the history behind the coin. and the incredible sense of pride that comes from owning something so few others have. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. What is this rare 1975 5-cent coin actually worth? Well, if you're fortunate enough to own a 1975 Jefferson nickel in uncirculated condition, featuring a major mint error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or wrong planchet, it could fetch a stunning price on the open market. And if that same coin has been professionally graded and confirmed as being in exceptional condition, with eye-catching rarity and pristine details, then you could be looking at a coin worth an unbelievable $89,000. Yes, you heard that right. Not 89 cents. Not $89, $89,000. For a 5-cent coin that could easily be sitting in a jar, drawer, or old wallet right now. It's incredible, isn't it? That something so small, so common in appearance, could hide such value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about the metal, it's about the story, the rarity, the history, and yes, the mystery. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your old coins. Look closely. You never know when you might be holding on to a treasure without even realizing it. Top 2, we're diving into the world of Jefferson nickels, and not just any nickel. We're talking about the 1985 United States of America 5-cent coin. Now, at first glance, the 1985 nickel might seem like just another average coin sitting in your pocket change. Millions were minted. It's a denomination we see every day, and because it doesn't feature flashy silver or gold, it often flies under the radar. But here's the thing. Some of these 1985 nickels are worth far more than 5 cents. In fact, a few extremely rare examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and today, we'll tell you exactly why. So buckle up, keep your eyes open, and if you're holding on to a few nickels at home or in a collection, now might be the perfect time to take a second look. Because somewhere out there, a 1985 nickel is waiting to be discovered, and it could be worth more than a brand new luxury car. Let's begin by talking about the design. The obverse of the 1985 5-cent coin features the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. This portrait was designed by Felix Schlag back in 1938 and became a mainstay on American nickels for decades. It's a classic profile, serious, refined, dignified, just like Jefferson himself. On the reverse side of the coin, we find Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. With its neoclassical dome and stately pillars, this image is one of the most iconic and enduring in U.S. coin design history. Underneath, you'll see the words E pluribus unum, the denomination 5 cents, and United States of America. Simple, elegant, and timeless. But here's where things start getting really interesting because not all 1985 nickels are created equal. In that year, both the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark, produced Jefferson nickels. Combined, over 1.5 billion nickels were struck. That's a huge number. So how can a coin with such a massive mintage be rare? The answer lies in errors, condition, and special variants. Let's start with mint errors, the crown jewels of any coin collector's dream. Errors are what transform ordinary coins into extraordinary ones. And the 1985 nickel has a few legendary mistakes that make it stand out in the world of U.S. coinage. One of the most notable is the double die error, specifically a double die on the obverse side. This type of error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment during production, causing a visible doubling effect on parts of the design, such as Jefferson's I, the lettering like "In God We Trust," or the date itself. These doubled areas are not the result of damage or wear, they were created during minting, which makes them incredibly rare and valuable. Another exciting and valuable error found on some 1985 nickels is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly seated in the minting press. The result? A coin that looks partially misaligned, with parts of the design cut off or shifted dramatically to one side. Coins that are off-center by 40% or more, yet still have the full date visible, can fetch extremely high prices at auction. And then, there are the wrong planchet errors, ultra-rare coins struck on the wrong type of metal blank. For instance, a 1985 nickel struck on a planchet meant for a penny, which would be copper instead of the usual cupronickel composition. These types of errors are extremely rare, and when authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, they can sell for thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. There are also clipped planchet errors. where a part of the coin is missing in a crescent-like shape due to a misfeed during the blank cutting process. These errors are visually striking and highly collectible, especially when combined with other errors or excellent condition. Now, let's talk about condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 all the way up to mint state MS 70. The closer your coin is to that perfect 70, the more valuable it becomes. Most 1985 nickels that you find in circulation today are heavily worn, with smooth surfaces and faded details. But if you happen to have one that's in uncirculated condition, with full luster and razor-sharp details, you could be sitting on something special. Even more special are those coins with the full steps designation. This means the steps on Monticello, located on the reverse of the coin, are fully visible and unbroken. That level of detail indicates a very sharp strike, something that's surprisingly rare for nickels of this era. Full steps 1985 nickels graded MS 65 or higher are prized among collectors and can bring in serious money at auctions. And what makes the hunt so thrilling is that many people don't know what they're looking at. They might find a 1985 nickel in a jar, a shoebox, or an inherited collection and toss it aside, thinking it's worth only 5 cents. But with a magnifying glass, a little patience, and some knowledge, you could uncover a rare error or a high-grade full-step specimen hiding in plain sight. Collectors love these stories. The idea that an everyday coin, something so common and ordinary, could be worth thousands is what makes coin hunting so exciting. Every coin has a history. Every mark tells a story. And every once in a while, you come across a coin that doesn't just tell a story, it makes history. And now, for the part you've all been waiting for, the big value reveal. If you're lucky enough to own a 1985 Jefferson nickel that is not only in mint state condition, but also features one of the rare and dramatic errors we discussed earlier, like a double die, an off-center strike, or a wrong planchet, then you're holding a coin that's more than just a collectible. You're holding a coin that could change your life, because one of these rare 1985 5-cent coins, when verified, authenticated, and placed at auction, has been known to command a jaw-dropping $86,000. Yes, you heard that right. $86,000 for a coin that originally cost just 5 cents to use and might be hiding in someone's pocket change right now. So the next time you're going through coins, take your time. Look closely. Study the details. Because that old nickel might just be worth far more than you think. Top 3, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1994 United States 5-cent coin. And you'll want to hear every detail. Now, you might be wondering, a nickel from 1994? Really? What could be so special about that? And I get it. The 1994 Jefferson nickel doesn't scream rarity. It doesn't glimmer with silver or shine with gold. But what it does have, for a select few versions, is value, serious value. If you know what to look for, this small and seemingly ordinary coin could be one of the rarest and most desirable modern nickels in circulation. Let's start with a bit of background. The 1994 Jefferson nickel continues the long-standing design created by Felix Schlag, who introduced the portrait of Thomas Jefferson to the 5-cent coin back in 1938. On the obverse, we see a left-facing Jefferson with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1994. Flip the coin over, and there's Jefferson's iconic Monticello estate, one of the most recognizable landmarks in American coinage. Clean, classic, and unchanged for decades. But here's the secret. It's not the design that makes this coin rare. It's the errors, anomalies, and condition that set it apart from the rest. In 1994, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion nickels across both the Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D-mint mark facilities. With numbers that big, you'd assume every 1994 nickel is pretty much the same. But buried within those billions are a handful of coins that were minted with rare errors. And these are the ones that can fetch huge prices from collectors. Let's talk about some of the most valuable and exciting errors found on the 1994 nickel. First up, the double die obverse. This type of error happens during the die creation process, when the image is impressed more than once but slightly misaligned. The result? Parts of the design, especially the lettering like Liberty or the motto, "In God We Trust," appear doubled. These doubled features can often be seen without a microscope and are instantly recognizable to experienced collectors. When combined with a sharp strike and mint state condition, these errors are considered incredibly valuable. Next, We have the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned within the press during minting, causing the design to appear shifted or partially missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, and the more visible the date, the more desirable the coin becomes. A 1994 nickel that's 50% off-center and still shows the full date? That's a rare gem right there. Then there's one of the most dramatic and mysterious errors in numismatics, the wrong planchet error. Every coin denomination is struck on a blank of a specific size, weight, and metal. But on rare occasions, a blank intended for a different coin gets struck with the wrong die. That means you could have a 1994 nickel that was actually minted on a penny or even a foreign coin planchet. These coins often have the wrong color, weight, or thickness, and when authenticated, they command massive prices. That we also can't forget the clipped planchet error. This occurs when a coin blank is improperly cut, resulting in a coin that looks like a bite was taken out of it. It's eye-catching, easy to spot, and collectors love them, especially when the clip is dramatic and the coin is otherwise well struck. But errors are only half the story. The other half comes down to condition. You see, most of the nickels minted in 1994 went straight into circulation. They passed through hands, registers, vending machines, and change jars for decades. As a result, most are worn, scratched, or faded, but a small number were either saved from the start or discovered later in uncirculated or mint state condition. These coins show no signs of wear, have full luster, and maintain every fine detail of the original strike. And when these rare examples are sent to professional grading services, like PCGS or NGC, some come back with grades of MS, 65, or higher. That's when the value skyrockets. Even more coveted are nickels with the full steps designation. This refers to the steps on the front of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. Most coins have blurred or worn-out steps due to weak strikes, but a full steps coin has every single line on the steps clearly visible. That means the die was new, the strike was sharp, and the coin is of exceptional quality. Combine full steps with an error, and you've got a true collector's treasure. What makes this even more exciting is that most people simply don't check their change. They don't think to look twice at a nickel from 1994. That means many of these rare errors and high-grade coins are still out there, sitting in drawers, boxes, old wallets, or tucked away in someone's forgotten piggy bank. You could have one right now and not even know it. Coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about history, art, discovery, and the thrill of finding something rare in the most unexpected place. There's a real sense of adventure in it, like treasure hunting in your own home. And when you come across a coin like the 1994 nickel with an error or in mint state, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a story, a mystery, a rare piece of American craftsmanship. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. What is a rare and high-grade 1994 5-cent coin actually worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to have a 1994 Jefferson nickel that features a major mint error, like a double die, off-center strike, or wrong planchet, and that coin is in uncirculated, certified mint state condition, then you could be in for a big surprise, because such a coin, when authenticated and auctioned to the right collector, has been known to fetch an astonishing $83,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $83,000 for a single nickel, one that might be hiding in a forgotten roll, tucked away in a jar, or lying quietly in a box of old coins. That's the beauty of coin collecting. The rarest treasures aren't always made of gold. They're made of knowledge, patience, and a sharp eye. So if you've got some 1994 nickels lying around, it's time to take a closer look. Examine them carefully. Use a magnifier. Check for doubling, off-center strikes, clean steps on Monticello, and brilliant luster. Because your next great find might be closer than you think. Top 4, we're turning the spotlight on a coin that millions of Americans have held in their hands, tucked into pockets, tossed into fountains, and left forgotten in old coffee cans for decades, the 1979 Jefferson nickel. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a nickel, right? Well, not quite. Because buried among the hundreds of millions of 1979 5-cent coins are a few extraordinary rarities, coins so special, so unique, and so historically fascinating that collectors have been willing to pay eye-watering amounts just to own one. Some of these little 5-cent pieces, believe it or not, have sold for as much as $81,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. So before you dismiss that old nickel you found at the bottom of a drawer, lean in, Pay close attention. And let's take a journey into what makes the 1979 United States of America 5-cent coin so incredibly valuable in rare cases. Let's begin with the basics. The 1979 Jefferson nickel continued the design tradition that started back in 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse features a strong profile of Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence and the third President of the United States. His face is stoic, focused, and unmistakably American. On the reverse side, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's beautiful Virginia estate, with its neoclassical design, dome, and columns, a design that's both architectural and symbolic. These nickels were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, with more than 940 million produced in total that year. That's right, hundreds of millions. With numbers that high, you'd assume every 1979 nickel is the same. But that's where the beauty of coin collecting comes in. Because it's not just about how many were made, it's about how they were made, what happened during the minting process, and how well the coin has survived over time. Let's talk about the first key element that makes certain 1979 nickels valuable. Mint errors. Mistakes at the mint are rare, but when they happen, they create instant collector excitement. And yes, several 1979 nickels have surfaced with shocking minting errors that turn them from common currency into auction-worthy collectibles. One of the most important errors to look for is the double die obverse. In these coins, parts of the design, most often the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," appear doubled, as if they were stamped twice, slightly off from each other. This kind of error happens when the die shifts during the minting process, and it results in a coin that looks just a little off, but in a way that collectors absolutely love. If you spot clear doubling on your 1979 nickel, especially in uncirculated condition, don't spend it. It could be worth a fortune. Another rare but valuable error is the off-center strike. These coins are struck when the blank planchet isn't perfectly aligned in the press. The result? A coin that looks partially cut off, with a portion of the design missing. The more off-center the strike, and if the date is still visible, the higher the value. A 50% off-center 1979 nickel with the full date visible is a real showpiece and can command significant interest among collectors. Then there's the wrong planchet error. Imagine a nickel accidentally struck on a copper penny blank, or even on a foreign coin planchet. It happens. And when it does, the result is a coin with the wrong color, weight, and size. These errors are extremely rare and incredibly exciting when discovered. Always check the weight of your coin. If it feels off or looks unusually coppery, it could be one of these extremely rare minting mishaps. Another fun one is the clipped planchet error. This is when a coin appears to have a curved piece clipped off from its edge, usually caused by a misfeed during the blanking process. These curved, missing areas are easy to spot and highly collectible, especially when paired with other features like strong strikes or clear dates. But rarity isn't just about errors, it's also about condition. The vast majority of 1,979 nickels you find today are worn. The details are faded, Jefferson's face is smooth, the Monticello steps are mushy, and the surfaces are dull. That's normal for coins that have been in circulation for decades. But what if you find one that still gleams with original mint luster? One that shows sharp detail, no wear, and perfectly defined features? That's when grading comes in. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and the closer you get to 70, the better. A 1979 nickel graded MS 65 or higher, especially one with full steps on Monticello, is a true collector's item. Full steps means you can count every individual step on Monticello without interruption. It's a sign of a superior strike and a coin that has likely been kept untouched since it was minted. Now combine that perfect condition with a rare mint error, and you've got something truly special. A once common coin becomes a rare work of art, one that tells the story of America, of minting history, of human error, and of unintentional perfection. And here's the best part, these coins are still out there. They might be hiding in rolls of nickels you get from the bank, in a forgotten change jar, in a shoebox of coins inherited from a grandparent, or even in the back of your own wallet. That's what makes this hobby so thrilling. You never know when your next coin might be worth more than your CA or .SO. What should you do? Start looking. Examine your 1979 nickels. Get a magnifier. Study Jefferson's eye, his hairline, the edges of the lettering. Look at Monticello. Can you see all the steps? Is the strike unusually sharp? Does the coin feel lighter or heavier than usual? Do the edges look clipped or strange? If so, you may be holding on to something incredibly valuable. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The big reveal. If you come across a 1979 United States of America 5-cent coin that features one of the rare mint errors we've talked about, especially in brilliant, uncirculated condition, and that coin has been authenticated and graded by a professional grading service, then congratulations, because that little nickel could be worth as much as $81,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $81,000, all from a coin you might have spent without thinking twice. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's history, luck, knowledge, and adventure all rolled into one. Top 5, we're diving into a coin that's shockingly modern, widely circulated, and often ignored. But here's the twist. It could be worth a fortune. I'm talking about the 2001 Jefferson nickel, a small, simple 5-cent coin that's been quietly making waves in the collector's world. While most people use it to buy gum or leave it in a tip jar, a handful of special versions have been discovered with serious rarity, fascinating minting errors, and surprisingly high auction values. Some have even sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, from a single nickel. Now, let's dig deep into this coin. At first glance, the 2001 5-cent coin looks like every other Jefferson nickel. On the front, you've got the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, America's third president, created by artist Felix Schlag. The design had been in use since 1938 and remained largely unchanged until the Westward Journey series began in 2004. So the 2001 version is among the last few years of the classic Schlag design, making it special in its own right. The reverse of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. The detail includes columns, a dome, and the steps leading up to the grand structure. Below that, you see the words E pluribus unum, 5 cents, and United States of America. It's traditional, elegant, and instantly recognizable. In 2001, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of these nickels, over 1.3 billion, in fact. That number alone might make you think the coin is too common to be valuable. But as with many treasures in the world of numismatics, rarity isn't always about quantity, it's about quality, uniqueness, and errors. And that brings us to the real heart of today's story. Some 2001 nickels left the mint with errors so unique, so visually fascinating, that they've become collector legends. These rare anomalies are what turn a 5-cent piece into a potential jackpot point. One of the most sought-after errors from the 2001 Jefferson nickel is the double die obverse. That's when part of the design, typically the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," appears double due to a misalignment during the die creation process. When a coin like this shows strong, visible doubling, especially in mint state, it immediately grabs attention from serious collectors. It's a mistake that results in beauty, and it's worth hunting for. Another exciting variety is the off-center strike. These coins occur when the blank planchet isn't correctly aligned in the press, causing the design to be struck off-center. Sometimes, part of Jefferson's head might be missing, or Monticello is shifted dramatically to one side. The more off-center the strike, and the more of the date that's still visible, the higher the value. Coins with a 40% or more off-center strike that still show the full year are especially rare and in high demand. Then there's the famous wrong planchet error. This is one of the rarest and most fascinating errors in all of coin collecting. Occasionally, a nickel is accidentally struck on a blank mint for another denomination, like a penny or even a foreign coin. This results in a coin that's the wrong weight, color, and size. Imagine finding a 2001 nickel that looks copper instead of the usual cupronickel gray. That's a serious red flag and a serious opportunity. Let's not forget about the clip planchet error. These are coins where a portion is literally missing, as if a bite was taken out of the edge. This kind of error happens when the coin blanks are misaligned in the cutting machine. It's instantly noticeable, and when combined with a clear date and mint state condition, these coins become hot items at auctions and collector shows. But as always, condition is king in the world of coin collecting. Even a rare error won't fetch top dollar if the coin is heavily worn or scratched. That's why coins graded as MS 65 or higher, meaning they're in mint state with no signs of wear, are so important. A 2001 nickel that's crisp, brilliant, and freshly struck, with full luster and strong detail, is valuable on its own. Now add a rare error to that coin, and you've just multiplied its worth dramatically. Some of the highest valued nickels are those with the full steps designation. This means that the steps on the Monticello building are fully visible and uninterrupted, a sign of a perfectly struck coin. Full steps nickels are far less common than you might think, even in uncirculated rolls. Collectors hunt for these specifically, and the 2001 full steps nickels are no exception. Now here's the exciting part. You could already own one of these coins and not even know it. These rare errors aren't always immediately obvious, especially if you don't know what to look for. That's why so many collectors love coin roll hunting, going through rolls from the bank, one by one, in search of that magical error or that one uncirculated beauty hiding in plain sight. Think about it. How many 2001 nickels have passed through your hands over the years? How many did you use without ever looking twice? One of those coins could have had a clipped planchet, or a double die, or maybe, just maybe, it was struck on a penny blank and slipped through the cracks. These treasures are out there, and they're just waiting to be discovered. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's part detective work, part history lesson, and part treasure hunt. Every coin has a story. Some tell tales of war, peace, presidential legacies, or minting mishaps. The 2001 Jefferson nickel is one such coin. Most are ordinary, but a few are nothing short of spectacular. So, what is a rare 2001 United States of America 5-cent coin actually worth? Let's say you're one of the lucky few. You find a 2001 nickel with a dramatic off-center strike, or a full double die obverse, or maybe it's been struck on the wrong planchet altogether. And let's say that coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, with blazing luster and certified by a top grading company. Well, get ready, because that coin could sell for a staggering $78,000. That's right, $78,000. For a single 5-cent coin. So don't overlook that pocket change. Don't ignore those coin rolls. And most importantly, don't underestimate the potential value of modern coins. Because right now, there's a 2001 nickel out there that someone will find, and when they do, it could change their life. Thanks for joining us here on Coins Hunter USA. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another incredible coin discovery. Whether you're new to collecting or a seasoned numismatist, remember, the next big treasure might be hiding right in your hand. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and always check your change. Because your next coin could be worth $78,000.